Greetings, fellow scribes! Welcome back to the archive! This week, I continue my series on the races of Dungeons & Dragons Spelljammer by talking about the Gnomes. And oh boy, are the Gnomes a interesting lot. Where the Dwarves doubled down on their stereotype, and the Elves went in a completely different direction. Gnomes, the Spelljammer Gnomes, created the stereotype of gnomes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we talk about the universe's crazy mad scientist inventors. On most worlds, gnomes are sort of nature entities. They're in tune with the natural world to some extent or another. Yes, they are smart beings, and as such, they tend towards illusion magic. But they're more fairy entity type things. Mischievous, but helpful. A little weird, but they're not gonna blow stuff up. And then you have the Spelljammer Gnomes. And alright, Spelljammer Gnomes, their cultural origins come from Dragonlance. Come from Kryn, the Tinker Gnomes. But the Tinker Gnomes in Dragonlance just kind of make interesting stuff, but not really crazy stuff. Well, okay, it is crazy, but it's sort of crazy in that Rube Goldberg type idea. The Spelljamming Gnomes, however, even the ones who originated in Dragonlance, do crazy stuff. They invent and develop anything they can think of. A gnomish helm, it works like a minor helm. So gnomish ships aren't that big. But here's the thing about the gnomish helm. It doesn't work like a normal helm. Oh, yes, it mechanically functions like a normal helm. That the helmsman gets into it, all their magic is zapped for the day, and it moves. But the gnomish helm doesn't work like the other helms. It's not really a throne like you would think of. Every gnomish helm, in fact, is different. Some might be a giant calliope that you play. Some might be something where you're controlling a giant iron golem who's turning a crank. And various other things like that. Every gnomish helm is different. Unique. Just like pretty much all of their ships are different and unique. But the rest of the Spelljammer universe can be thankful to gnomes for the non-magical helm. You see, throughout this different crystal spheres, there are these spots that are called Sargassos. These are locations where there's no magic. Now, yes, because of physics, ships keep their atmosphere, keep their gravity, etc., etc. But no magic works. No magical items, no spells, and certainly no magical spelljamming helms. A ship enters the Sargasso, and it drops out of spelljamming speed and stops dead. If your ship does not have a special gnomish contraption on it, you are stuck in that Sargasso until either your air runs out, your food runs out, or you're able to drift out somehow. A gnomish non-magical helm, often powered by a giant space hamster, running in a gigantic hamster wheel, will get you out. Or maybe that non-magical helm has you getting the crew that would normally be manning the riggings all turning cranks really, really fast. Or maybe it's you getting the crew running on a treadmill. It doesn't really matter how it works, just that it's not magical, so it'll work in a Sargasso. It won't get you up to spelljamming speeds, but it will get you moving. So it might take you a few days, weeks, maybe a month, but you'll get out eventually. Gnomes are funny like that. Their stuff isn't precisely the smartest inventions, but they do something really, really important. They work. And once you move past that, once you move past the "this makes no sense" or "oh dear gods, what is that?" or "wait, the gnome wants a what?" You get things that are unique. For instance, gnomes make a number of special catapult rounds. These are glass-encased rounds. Well, the round itself is glass. Completely glass. And some are green. Some are black. Or whatever's inside them is green and whatever's inside them is black. That's because in some, the gnomes are putting in green slime. In others, the gnomes are putting in black puddings. Horrifically deadly monsters. And the idea is, you shoot these at the enemy ship. You hit the enemy ship. The crew is now having to deal with green slime trying to consume them, or black puddings trying to consume them. Gnomes have a special ballista that fires 2 bolts simultaneously, with a chain between them. Guess what that does? That catches ship rigging and ship crew. Jettisons are kind of a... I've always kind of believed that these were first developed by gnomes, because their weapons were you just load a bunch of stuff into them, fire them aft, and hope the stuff hits somebody. And there's another magical weapon that I've always myself attributed to gnomes, just because it seems like the sort of thing the Spelljammer gnomes would make. It's called an accelerator. Now, it reduces your spelljamming rating by a certain amount per number that you have on ship. But what you do is, it's a tube. You put stuff in one end, and it's accelerated out the other end. You know, chair legs, gold coins, your arm accidentally, sort of, maybe on purpose. Depends on how well you're liked by your other crew members. That sort of thing. And that is what gnomes have brought to Spelljammer. Their ships, like the Sidewheeler, which you're either using the minor gnomish helm on it, or the two giant space hamsters in the side wheels, because it looks like a old, well, Mississippi riverboat type shape. Gnomish trawler, where it's got a gnome, or it's got an iron golem helmsman, and it's just, you have a little dinky thing at the front. That's the actual trawl, and then behind it you've got some wagons that it's hauling. Or the whelk, the gnomish ship that's shaped like a giant conch shell, and is actually grown, and is powered by gnomish helm. And these are the things gnomes do. And to me, this is why in so many D&D or even Pathfinder settings, gnomes aren't seen as, oh, look, these are sort of nature-affiliated things anymore. They're seen as inventors and researchers and mad scientists and etc., etc. Because Spelljammer's gnomes just created such a single, unified view of them. And honestly, I love this stereotype of the gnomes. I double down on it pretty much on any world where I run where gnomes are present. Just because it keeps things interesting. And, oh yeah, let's not forget, gnomes are responsible for probably two of the most dangerous weapons to yourself in Spelljammer. Greek fire projectors, and the various classes of bombard. Bombards, by the way, are cannons. While there is another race that I will talk about later that has a deep and abiding love for things that go boom and hurl a projectile at high speed, the gnomes are probably the ones who invented it. Doesn't actually say anywhere, but I'd expect it to be gnomes, just because of how spectacularly a bombard will blow if it blows up. Especially in the phlogiston. Same with the Greek fire projector. Yeah, so universal rule: keep your gnomes locked up below deck, preferably bound and gagged, during the period you're going through the phlogiston. Otherwise, things blow up spectacularly. And that's it for Gnomes. Next week, I'm going to talk about halflings. This should be fun, because I've not actually taken a look at halflings in Spelljammer before. So until then, I'd like you all to remember to have fun and keep gaming.